Walk into any Fortune 500 boardroom today, and you'll hear an identical mandate. Enterprises must go Asset-Lite and Edge-Lite to survive the transition to advanced technology. The strategy rests on a specific logic. The competitive advantage of a 21st century global enterprise is no longer the physical infrastructure it owns, but rather its borderless algorithmic intellectual property. To maximize value, companies are shedding physical liabilities and pushing operations outward to the edge. Yet, executing this transition in isolated corporate vacuums is currently triggering a $96 trillion macroeconomic crisis. Companies are dumping physical infrastructure without coordinating with the sovereign laws and power grids that must absorb them. As a result, municipal grids seize, the technology hallucinates, and corporate margins experience violent crashes when leadership realizes they must rehire the human workforce to provide the context the machine lacks. While the underlying algorithms are mathematically flawless, they fail because they lack the four-dimensional biological and physical context to operate safely in the real world. This friction is the result of the structural foundation of the 20th century economy. For the last 100 years, we operated on a one-dimensional push pipeline. In this model of enterprise-out economics, corporations manufactured a product or service in a centralized silo. They relied on lagging statistics to guess what the market wanted, and then pushed that output into the world. Launching products into the dark and waiting to see if they achieved product-market fit created a massive drag on global innovation, ultimately wasting billions of dollars in capital. Today, we are injecting millisecond cognitive compute and autonomous robotics into that same slow pipeline. Increasing the velocity of technology inside a one-dimensional extraction pipe does not fix the architecture, it simply accelerates the rate at which the system fragments. In 1865, William Stanley Jevons proved that when technological progress increases the efficiency with which a resource is used, the overall rate of consumption of that resource actually rises. Deploying hyper-efficient algorithms inside the legacy enterprise-out model triggers this paradox, driving the system to consume human bandwidth and grid capacity at a faster rate. When an enterprise deploys an autonomous agent to save a worker time, the corporation uses that efficiency to push 10 times more tasks onto them, accelerating human burnout. Similarly, when a hyperscaler builds a hyper-efficient data center, they use the savings to build the facility 5 times larger, crashing into the municipal grid queue even faster. Optimizing internal efficiency in a closed corporate vacuum ends up weaponizing that technology against an open, fully occupied physical world. The 20th century was built on W. Edwards Deming's system of profound knowledge, which provided the science of internal efficiency for a factory floor. Deming's model relies on a closed boundary that no longer exists. Today, every technological deployment instantly collides with local sovereign laws, fragile ecological watersheds, and established human communities. We move from one-dimensional macroeconomic accounting to a model of macro-systemic coherence, built on 4 intersecting layers: cyber, physical, social, and sovereign. Here, Apex pioneers provide the foundational infrastructure across these layers, securing compute for the cyber layer and energy for the physical. This provides an agnostic environment that safely tethers the brilliance of the corporate platform to these 4 living physical pipes. Because we now possess millisecond execution speed, the enterprise no longer has to guess. We reverse the gravity of the economy to demand-out economics. By synthesizing the constructal law of physics with Dr. Amartya Sen's capability approach, we can redefine what it means to have an unmet need. An unmet human demand at the local edge is an active thermodynamic vacuum rather than a passive statistic. PEIS, privacy, equity, inclusion, and sovereignty, serves as the strict mathematical boundary that allows the local node to share its exact biological and physical truth without fear of extraction. When data is computed in situ behind this boundary, privacy is absolute, and the need for corporate guessing is eradicated. Facing an unmet capability deprivation, the localized edge transmits a high-density, 4-dimensional signal directly back upstream to the enterprise. The enterprise responds by shedding physical liabilities and becoming a dynamic yield seeker. Grounded in real options theory, borderless algorithmic IP hovers in kinetic readiness. While waiting, it is simultaneously pulled by verified thermodynamic vacuums in Japan, Germany, and Texas. Through T0 policy as code, transactions only clear when local grids and sovereign laws cryptographically align. This high-coherence, low-governance architecture allows the enterprise to capture global yield with zero physical liability or regulatory clawback risk. We must shift from artificial intelligence to intelligence augmentation, recognizing that the central corporate platform is a logic machine devoid of biological empathy. Intelligence augmentation deploys technology as a high-speed exoskeleton for humanity. At the localized edge, biotech and climate tech merge into a unified action. The machine handles logistical friction in systems time, while the human provides high-variance care in living time. Pulling capability directly to the edge ends forced economic migration. People gain the agency to stay in their hometowns and thrive in situ by wielding world-class capability. In the legacy economy, knowledge was hoarded at the center and gated by rigid degrees. As knowledge flows instantly to the edge, that gate is removed, establishing a continuous contribution economy where human potential is visible and valued. For a century, we measured the global economy through a one-dimensional pipe of produced capital, valued at $110 trillion. But the World Bank validates total planetary wealth at $1.152 quadrillion. Most of that value currently sits in unpriced human and natural capital. Shifting to four-dimensional settlement releases trillions of dollars in active kinetic yield to investors and local communities alike. The system of prosperity co-creation provides the architecture to safely tether 21st-century genius to reality, letting human demand author the future.